Still too much, huh?
Hey guys, this is Sadiq, Physique by Sadiq, and I'm going to tell you guys about my first bodybuilding show, my experience, my prep, and my stage weight.
I really think you should. Aren't you glad to meet me?
What really inspired me to get into this was my buddy Sufyan. We were training incredibly hard.
Stand by.
My start weight was 190 pounds, and here's a picture to show you guys what I look like at 190. I thought it was pretty solid. You know, the way I was training really hard, but my eating was it was okay. It wasn't really the best. What I was able to do in this 4-month transformation, it's a 50-pound plus difference. I ended up stepping on stage at 137 pounds. I competed in men's physique open and men's physique novice. I ended up getting second place in men's physique open, so it was a really good time and really exciting. It was probably one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do because it was so much effort and work I had to put in. It was not easy, not one bit. I started implementing carb cycling. I would do 1-day high, 3-day lows. My high day macros was 250 grams of carbs, 220 grams of protein, and only 40 grams fats. So that's how I started off originally, and then my low days were 150 grams of carbs, 250 grams protein, and still 40 grams fat. So it was pretty intense, you know. Start off not too bad. My diet, it mainly consisted of chicken and rice, pretty much the basic bodybuilder diet. And then I also started incorporating cardio in my workouts. I started off by doing 40 minutes of cardio 5 times a week. As we later got into June, I stepped up my cardio to 500 calories a day. So ideally I was doing about an hour of cardio per day. So I went from 40 minutes cardio 5 times a week to hour cardio every single day. So I was doing mainly the Stairmaster, or I'll do an incline walk on the treadmill, get my Netflix going, or get a good playlist of music going just to really pump me out throughout that. I usually just mainly did a fasted cardio, so I'd wake up and then I'd do my cardio, and I was like, cool, you know, like, yeah, you know, I'm just doing fasted, so that way I can burn like extra fat that's stored in my body from the day previous, and just the way I activate, get my body moving in the morning, burn as many calories as I can just to start the day. Ideally, that was going very well until about 6 weeks out. It was just probably the hardest thing I'd done. It was just so drained and dying. So what I decided to do instead was I just did post cardio workout, or I'll do half my cardio during the day, half my cardio at night. That way I'm not like dying in the morning and the rest of my day is ruined, because I still have clients to train, I still have people I got to take care of, you know, still have friends, a social life, which was very tough to live because of the prep meal. So that's another thing, is if you're planning on doing this, just know, say goodbye to your social life, because it's very time consuming and it's very tough to eat anything outside, because you really got to track your macros. It's really dialed down to the T. So then I dropped my macros, I believe 3 months out. I dropped into 235 grams of carbs. We dropped the protein by 15 grams, so I was at 205 grams protein, and we dropped the fats down to 30. We stuck to that till we got about 8 weeks out. Once we got to 8 weeks out, I dropped the macros once again down to 185 grams of carbs. The protein stayed the same at 205, and just know everything I was dropping was about like 15 to 35 grams. Small little cuts, but man, they made a huge difference in my energy, because we know carbs are the main fuel source of the body, you know, just to maintain lifestyle, be happy, not be cranky. So those were getting minimized, and then, you know, things were getting a lot tougher throughout my day. So it was definitely tough when I'd see people come in with a donut or like a big hamburger, and I was like, man, I want to eat that. Why am I not eating that right now? Or because I live here in San Diego, you know, some tacos. I just wanted to really snack on those things. So we dialed it down. I was 5 weeks out, going into the show. Is when I finally hit like a wall. Everybody was like, oh man, you're gonna end up feeling like death. I'm like, nah, no way, you know, like this, it was hard, but it was nothing crazy. When I was 5 weeks out, man, I was just laying in bed for a couple days, couldn't really get up, couldn't move, couldn't do much, just because I was so depleted. So I just I had a nice refeed meal on a high carb day, and I was able to establish myself, get me going for the last 5 weeks, which I was able to. Then I dropped down my, I believe I was 3 weeks out is when I dropped down my carbs to 100 grams of carbs per day. Probably, I think that was like 1-2 cups of rice. So that was all the carbs I had. My calories went from like 2,500 calories to shit, I'm at like 1,400 or whatever the numbers were. So things were getting tough, but I was definitely looking a lot tighter. I was getting a lot more conditioning look. As you can see, I took so many like videos and like just, you know, progress pictures as I was going, because I wanted to see like this documentary to see how my body's gonna change, how it's gonna react to like this shock. Because I've been lean in the past, but I was like never stage lean. I was like, you know what, I really want to go for it. Why not? It's summer, I mean, I might as well go for it. As a trainer, you know, I preach this lifestyle, so I was like, you know, I want to be the best shape possible. So about 3 weeks out, we started stepping up my cardio to about 90 minutes of cardio, so 1.5 hours every single day, 3 weeks out. Man, that was really broken up. I was doing 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes post-workout, because there was no way I was just gonna do 1.5 hours of cardio all in one sitting. It was too crazy. And then we ended up stepping up to 2 hours, I believe, the last week. 2 hours of cardio a day, not the funnest thing ever. It's probably one of the most dreadful moments. The most important thing people always love to hear was peak week. What did you do for peak week? My peak week consisted of going down to, what did we do for peak week? That Sunday, I cut out all dry carbs. I ate only protein and veggies. That was pretty much my diet. And I started off my peak week with 2 gallons of water. I got all the way up to 3 gallons of water. We cut the water, I believe Wednesday was the last heavy load of water that we decided to do. And then that Thursday before the show, I dropped the water down to 1/2 gallon. So I was really being like, oh man, I gotta be careful with how much water I'm drinking, because I was so used to just chugging that thing down, man. I was drinking 1 gallon of water by 10 a.m. I was just shoving it down, so that way I can have the other gallons for the rest of the day. I could just cruise it out, you know. So that was pretty fun and interesting. And then from there, you know, I really decided like, damn, gotta conserve this water, because that Friday, Friday's when we started carbing back up. I ended up going down to 16 ounces of water, and I was eating 50 grams of carbs every hour by the hour. That's what we were doing, and I finally got a cheat meal, refeed meal, whatever, that evening. I had a In-N-Out double-double. If you guys don't live in California, then fuck, I don't know what you guys eat then, because I had an In-N-Out double-double with some fries, and it was so bomb, but I ran out of water for the day, so I was freaking thirsty. Show day. The day of my show, I woke up at 5 a.m. I texted my coach like pictures of me. I was like, man, how am I looking? He told me what to eat, so right away I drove my car, got to Food for Less. I picked up some rice cakes. We were doing rice cakes every hour with honey. I was just eating them up. So first show ever. I was super excited. I got my first coat of tan the night before. The day of, I had my next coat at 7 a.m. So yeah, I'm exhausted, not much sleep, I'm tired, eating rice cakes every hour. I got my tan, second coat, texted my coach again, like, hey, this is what I look like, what are we going with, what are we eating? So we decided to just keep going with the rice cakes. We decided to stay pretty healthy about it because, you know, you can go on YouTube and guys will talk about, oh, like, hey, I'm eating a Snickers bar before I step on stage. He's like, nope, you're going clean. You had your in and out the night before. So that was pretty crazy. Just rice cakes, and no water whatsoever. The day of the show, I was like, damn. So it was tough. So we had prejudging for the 2 categories I did. So that was fun. We met with my coach. He's like, you do great. So rest, I just went home, chilled, relaxed, did pretty much nothing till about 2 hours before the show. My buddy Sufyan came and picked me up. We went to the show together, got my touch-up coat of tan. So man, I was incredibly dark for the show, but hey, it was a lot of fun. From there, we went out there, I did my thing, brought back home a trophy. So currently, what I ended up doing that night of was I binged eat so much. I checked the scale the morning after. I only gained 5 pounds. I know some dudes will end up being like, oh, I gained 20 pounds. Man, I don't know about 20 pounds. I only gained 5. So currently I'm 1 month out since my show. I went up from 137 in the morning to my current weight this morning was 153, which is not bad because I'm trying to lean bulk. I want to stay as lean kind of as possible and get as much size as possible, because my end of year goal for me by next year 2020 is to do a national show. Since I'm already a qualifier, I plan on doing a national show next year. So stay tuned, give this video a like, share this video with anybody who's thinking about competing, because I'm gonna document the rest of my journey until I get to nationals. I'm gonna be posting my workouts, my diet, my new macros. So best advice I can give anybody who's thinking of competing is, 1, do you really want this? Because if you don't, if this is just for fun, don't do it. This isn't for fun, you know. You're in it to win it. You're here to make a statement. You're here to make something of yourself. This isn't something you be for fun. I mean, hey, I paid like almost $600 to compete because I was paying $100 for my tan, $175 for each class, $125 for the NPC card. Let people know that this stuff is expensive, and if you're not really serious or trying to win, you shouldn't do it. Oh, and then like $50 for the board shorts as well. So hey, just something to think about. If you want to do it, you can do it. Just be in it to win it. So thanks guys for watching my video. Like this video and have a great day.